tender on January 31st. So if you're keeping some old notes under your mattress right now, you have 19 business days. So even though it's 27 days left in the month, there are only 19 business days. 19 days that banks are open. So you have 19 business days left to take it to your bank. After that, that money that you have right now, the old one, you don't become paper with that too. So I have a few questions to ask about this. Have you seen or held the new Naira notes? That's the first question. Have you spent it? We're hearing that many businesses are still confused about the notes. They don't know how to spot the fake ones. In fact, policy experts are criticizing the CBN about this one because normally, before a central bank rolls out new money, they bring out samples to the public. They usually have a program where they teach business people how to check for authentic ones. There are different ways that they can do this. The bank can use TV programs, they can use newspapers, they can do town halls. These days with the internet, they can create videos and share it online. They can use traditional rulers and pastors. They can use community leaders. There are so many ways to educate the public about new notes before the notes enter the market. Well, we saw the notes enter the market first, and then when people started complaining, oh, we're seeing fake ones. So when police officers started catching people with cartons full of fake ones, then CBN said, oh, this is how to spot fake ones. Do you believe that the CBN has done enough of all of these things I mentioned? And there's also been criticism about the timeline. CBN announced the new notes around the start of November. The new notes first hit the streets a few weeks later, December 15th. From December 15th to January 31st, that's like 47 days. That's a month and a half. So is a month and a half enough time for Nigerians to deposit all their legitimate old cash and also get familiarized with the new cash? You don't see the new Naira, you don't hold them, you don't use and buy something. Person don't use and buy something for your hand. The UK just announced that they're going to have new pound notes with the face of King Charles on them. He became king late last year. I'm sure some of you know that, when his mother, Queen Elizabeth, died. And the Bank of England says that the new notes will hit the streets next year, middle of 2024. Now, this is not a complete redesign of the pound, though. The pound notes are identical to the old notes. The only thing that will change here is the face of the monarch. That's the only change. So it's not as if the public will need a lot of education on it. And yet, the central bank felt that the public will need a year and a half of advance warning. 1 year and a half. Here, we got 1 month and a half. And mind you, this is the UK where literacy levels are much higher than Nigeria. It's also a society with lower levels of cash use. The UK is also not outlawing the old pound notes. They're using both concurrently. The Mama Charlie notes, you can still use it. There's no expiry date on those ones. People will continue using them. It's just that whenever anyone deposits some old notes in the bank won't give those notes to another customer. So let me recap. The UK has a simpler redesign, better educated population. They are not mopping up the old notes, and their society is more cashless than Nigeria. And yet, they've been their citizens a year and a half to adjust, while the CBN gave Nigerians a few weeks. Have they approached this reasonably? Have you held the new Naira notes? Have you seen it? Have you used it? Has there been enough sensitization? Has there been enough time? Does the deadline make sense? How do you think this change, the way it has been managed, will impact businesses? Especially the businesses that depend heavily on cash. 0700-993-993. That's for men. Women call us on 01465-7190. 01465-7190. Simple question. You don't see them, you don't hold them, you don't use and buy something. Person don't use and buy something for your hand. The new Naira notes. Because you have 19 days to get rid of your old ones. 99.3. Hello? 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 Oh, sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. 99.3. Hello.
Sandra, good afternoon. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good afternoon. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Informa.
Welcome, Informa. Welcome.
Me, I'm having 3,000 Naira notes. I don't want to spend it. Only the new ones. I'm saving the money. In short, that's why I'm keeping it.
Oh, okay. You're saving it as per history, yeah? Okay, because I mean, my grandma had some Biafran Naira notes, so some people do that, but at least it's just 3,000. The rest are in the bank. 99.3. Hello. How you doing? Good evening. Hello. Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing? Good evening.
I'm okay. Sandra, I greet you.
I greet you too.
G.
Baba G, Happy New Year.
I wish you the same, my sister.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, quickly, the new Naira note. I have some.
Okay.
But my friends, most of them are saying that this one, is he on a lighter note, crayon, they used to just to paint it, or because if you look at it, you will understand that the 200, the color of the former 200, is like they transfer it to 1,000. And the color of the former 500, they transfer it to 200. So I don't know the rationale behind that. And again, the question you ask, by the end of this month, the old one will cease to exist. Am I right?
Yes, it will be paper.
Now, I listen to different, opinions. I was watching National Assembly, and I will agree with them to some extent, A senator said that in his village, no bank inside. Many of the market women there, there are some villages, they have market days. They don't know what they call POS. Just think about it. There are some letters, because if we are talking about cities in Nigeria, you can just count them. I don't think major cities in Nigeria, they are up to 10 or 15. But we have 36 states. So what are you going to do? So it's better if they can extend it. I'm in support of CBN policy, but they should extend it to June or July so that people can buckle up. But if you say end of this month, there will be a catastrophe. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, Baba G. 99.3. Hello.
Sandra.
How you doing?
First time caller.
Okay. What's your name, ma'am?
Adeshewa.
Adeshewa, how are you a first time caller?
Know my voice.
How are you a first time caller, Adeshewa?
Sandra, some people will just be inside the office. Maybe if they've taken enough air condition, they'll just do some policy that is not just reasonable at times. To me, it's not actually reasonable.
Okay.
It's not too much. I don't really. What's this? What's this today?
Okay.
Did you just say what they want to do in UK, concerning Mama Charlie and Charlie by himself? So let them give them enough time. Come to this Ikorodu. I wish you could just come.
Okay.
To this Ikorodu.
Okay.
Those that are selling petty things. They are not collecting that money from anybody.
They're not collecting the new money.
Me. So yes, they are not collecting it. Somebody showed me yesterday, rubbed down 1,000 Naira on a plain white sheet. The thing was peeling. I was like, are you sure it's not a fake? Because I don't expect money to be peeling. I've not held it, but I've seen it. That's my own.
Okay, Adeshewa, thanks for calling. Adeshewa says she hasn't held it, she has seen it, but the one she saw was rubbing off on a white cloth. She also says in Ikorodu, petty traders are refusing to accept the new Naira notes. Now, in 19 business days, we're supposed to stop using the old Naira notes. Have you seen the new ones? Have you held the new ones? Do you think the CBN has handled all of this responsibly? Has there been enough sensitization? Has there been enough time? This deadline, does it make sense? 99.3, hello. 99.3, hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
Good evening. My name is Edith.
Have you held the new Naira notes?
Yes, so I have.
Okay.
You know what? My husband gave me that money. That was, I think, 23rd or 22nd of December.
Okay.
The 1,000 Naira note.
Okay.
So I was like, the money was looking somehow. If you're talking about quality, that money does not have quality.
Okay.
So I and my son went to the market. As we were coming back, we took a public bus.
Okay.
You know, I gave it to the conductor. He refused to collect the money from me.
Ah.
I was like, this is our money, oh. Start getting it. He said, let madam change the money for me. Madam, So other passengers in the bus, they were like, madam, let's see the money. They started passing the money from one person to another. So it was like both of them had not seen the money. You see the way they were condemning the money. We can't use less money be this. We can't yama money be this. So Nigeria no.
Oh no! I wanted to hear the rest of that story. Woo! Okay. 99.3. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is Prosper.
Have you seen the new Naira notes?
I was fortunate to work. I'm working with a banker.
Okay.
So she do bring me.
Okay.
Since they brought out this new money now, that is the only money I've been holding. That is the truth. Except I go out and people give me in exchange with the old one.
The old one. That's
but
good.
There's something I noticed.
Okay.
There are a lot of people, especially drivers.
Can you turn the radio off? Turn the radio off.
All right, let me do that.
All right.
I thought I've low enough.
No, it's not low enough.
The issue is that there are a lot of people that if you give it to them, they will refuse to collect it. They don't even want to collect it. Then I made a mistake of washing the 500 inside
your jeans.
My trouser. If not that my brother collected it, I would like to just snap it and screenshot it and send to you.
Oh.
It became white.
You washed it and the color ran.
Normally, if I wash money inside my pocket, when the clothes dry, the money dry, I can still have it.
You can still use the money.
It became almost white, and people have been rejecting the money. Most of the people that have been giving it to, I always force it on people that I don't have another one. They are rejecting that. This is fake.
Because it's white now. Who? If someone gives it to you, will you accept it?
As for me, if not, I'm working with a bank. I'm telling you, I will not accept that money. That is the truth.
Thank you for calling to share with me.
I'm not even saying that the white one, that is the one they are rejecting.
The normal one. The normal one. Okay.
A lot of people rejecting it. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for calling. Interesting stuff. Woo! Has the CBN done enough to raise awareness about the new currency? 99.3.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Mrs. Ajayi calling from Surulere.
Welcome and Happy New Year, Mrs. Ajayi.
Same to you. Please, I went to Fidelity Bank today.
Okay.
They are not even dispensing new cash. The new money. All their banks are Bodetoman.
Okay.
The old one.
Okay.
Go and investigate. All the money they are giving out today, they are still old notes. So, and they are saying 31st of January. It's not feasible. I don't know what the central bank is doing.
Mrs. Ajayi, thank you so much for calling. All right, let's take a look at messages on WhatsApp, shall we? We have this one here that says, it's not fair to compare Nigeria with the UK on currency policy because both countries are operating under different scenarios. Even though CBN is not speaking in clear terms, but we all know it will checkmate election fraud as well as mess up the cash in the hands of bandits. Those of us calling for extension will come back here to complain about vote buying. How much money can somebody have, even in the thickest forest of this country, that cannot be taken to the bank in 3 months? I've received the note. Its design is poor, but we understand it is locally produced. Who approved the first illegality? Okay, no, that's a message from earlier on the show today. All right. Thank you very much for your message, Tony. I appreciate it. Femi Nikorodu says the CBN was speaking on TV advertising the new Naira notes and the deadlines for the old ones to be returned to the bank. But with 3 weeks to deadline, the new notes is yet to be out. Even banks are still dispensing old notes. It's so bad that the only thing we learned in this part of the world is to speak English without action. Femi. Oh my gosh. This message here, Sandra, I received it from a POS, but on serious notes, the money does not look attractive at all. Well, the attractiveness of the money is not the issue here. Maybe you can use it to trade. You can use it to buy and sell. The problem is when you try to buy something with it, does the seller accept it from you? This time frame that we've been giving to return it all to the banks, the old ones to the banks, is it enough? These are the more important things. The aesthetics of the money is not so important to me. Akin Boboye sent me a video of a man who was molested because of the new Naira note. My God, it's a long video. It's 4 minutes. I can't watch it right now. Maybe when we go on a break, because the break is 4 minutes long. When we go on that break, I'll watch the video so I'll see it for myself. Molested, that what happened? That he's holding fake or what? Boye from Ijebode says, I believe the ultimatum is centered towards the presidential elections to curb money politics. My take on this, January 31st is okay. After the election, they should extend it for 6 months. Okay. Then, if after the election they should extend it, have they curbed money politics? Because it means politicians will still buy, votes if they wanted to. And if anything, if we have learned anything at all from how politicians operate, if politicians want to get the new money in bulk numbers, they will get the new money in bulk numbers. The rules that apply to you as an ordinary Nigerian doesn't apply to Nigerians with power. It's a sad thing to say, but it is what it is. It's different rules for different categories of Nigerians. So again, has this been handled reasonably? Let's assume, but not concede, that the reason this is happening is because of the presidential elections. Does this really stop the people we want it to stop? Does it? We've got a message here from you didn't leave your name, but you say, I've not seen the new money with my eyes because ATMs keep dispensing old notes. I've only seen it on social media. All right. Let me come back to the phone lines. 99.3.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. What's your name, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Happy New Year. My name is Esienubong Dominic.
Welcome, Dominic. Good evening and Happy New Year.
You see, Auntie Sandra is very sad. In fact, Nigeria is a sad story.
Okay.
Yes, Nigeria is a sad story because, can you imagine, we cannot even produce quality currency. It's very sad. It's very sad that the government have nothing to show. It's very sad that they mess the whole thing up. It's very sad because the changing of currency is not the priority. It's very sad. Is that the priority? Is the population that rules this country? It's very sad. In fact, I am bitter.
Dominic, thanks for calling. I've got this message here from Brutus. Brutus says, the banks are complaining that CBN is not releasing the new notes. I just withdrew money from my bank. I requested for new notes. Out of 50,000, I was giving 45,000 old notes and 5,000 are new notes. So the policy should be given longer time. Okay. Olatunde Olayinka says, the challenge would be getting out huge sums of cash of the new Naira notes before the elections, considering the time frame between the end of the exchange and the elections. It will be a Herculean task to get hundreds of millions in cash out of the banks for bribing voters. But my real question in that, will this add value to the common man on the street? Olayinka, thank you for your message on WhatsApp. David Ibiam says, I have seen and held the new Naira note. It's inferior to the old one, honestly. Only if the note was redesigned to look like the pound note, which is in nylon form. Okay, so kind of like the 20 Naira and 50 Naira note that we used to have before. Aloha Jonah says, I thought the Senate has approved an extension to the deadline. No, they haven't. They're asking that it be extended, but they cannot approve an extension because, well, CBN is an independent institution. We've got successful Ihana Cho, who says, me, I've not seen or touched a new Naira note. To date is fast approaching and the money hasn't circulated. All right, successful. My do you know my only joy, Lagos, is that I cuckoo don't use a lot of cash. So I don't even have the old Naira notes. So I'm not panicking about having to go and return any Naira notes to any bank. But I've still not seen like the new notes. Like I've seen it online, I've seen it on social media, but I've not seen it myself. I haven't transacted with the cash itself. But again, I don't transact with cash quite a bit, but that's a benefit of being in Lagos, right? Because everybody and their mama has a POS machine. But you go to other cities in Nigeria and POSs are not as widespread as they are here in Lagos. They're also not as POS payments, card payments are also not as widely accepted in other parts of Nigeria as they are here in Lagos. Now, part of the reason why CBN is limiting cash withdrawals and also changing the currency is so that more people outside of cities like Lagos and Abuja, and maybe to an extent Port Harcourt, will adopt more cashless methods of payments. That way you can trace money a bit more. You know who money is going to, where money is coming from, etc., etc. But has the method, the procedure, like let's even say that the goal was to stop people from using large cash and buy votes before election. Couldn't we have done it much earlier? Doesn't this kind of thing require planning and foresight? Like, didn't you know way ahead of time that elections will happen in 2023? People will try to buy votes. Therefore, we should try and make it difficult for them to do. Therefore, maybe in 2021, you announce, we're going to change the currency, give people time to acclimatize, etc., etc. I don't know. We'll take a break. When we come back from this break, let's talk about the ways and means debt. Oh yes, it's another big one. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
Let's talk.
Shey you dey whine me ni? Why you see rain for this heavy sun?
No be that kind rain o. This one na data rain with my MTN NG app o. Na 1 gig data for everybody wey download the app. You know me now. You go also get up to 2 gig free data when you recharge from 500 naira and above with your debit
On this show, we bring you the realest analysis of business news stories because, hey, for every big drama happening in the news regarding businesses, there are actual businesses that news story is impacting. It's impacting the business, it's impacting the business owners, it's impacting the people who work for these businesses, it's impacting the people who want to own their own businesses. And that's why on Balogun and Broad, it's named after Balogun Street and Broad Street, because if you there's a particular junction on Balogun Street and Broad Street, or on Balogun Street and Broad Street, where if you turn you see the people who are trading petty trades on Balogun Street. If you turn you see all the big banks, big headquarters on Broad Street, So this show is what was the word I'm looking for now? It has its foot on both sides of business, big business and small business. And I want us to talk about CBN's Ways and Means crisis next. Today's second business hard fact is that by law, in a single year, the CBN cannot lend the federal government more than 5% of the previous year's federal revenue. That's what the law says. If the CBN lends the federal government more than 5% of the previous year's federal revenue, both of them have broken the law. So, for example, in 2021, federal government's actual revenue was 4.39 trillion naira. What that means is that last year, the federal government was allowed to borrow 5% of that from the CBN. That's 219 billion naira by law. By law. How much did the federal government actually borrow from the CBN last year? Over 6 trillion naira. So let me repeat what I said. The law says that in a single year, the CBN cannot lend the federal government more than 5% of the previous year's federal revenue. The actual revenue of federal government in 2021 was 4.39 trillion. Federal government was only allowed by law to borrow 5% of that from CBN. And 5% of 4.39 trillion is 219 billion naira. Federal government borrowed 6 trillion naira, 24 times what the law allows. And that's not all. Before borrowing from the CBN in a year, the federal government by law must repay all the old debt from previous years. There should be no backlog. But last year, there was a backlog. A backlog of over 16 trillion naira. So that's two ways that the law is being broken. And now there's a big problem. President Buhari says that I need to pay CBN back their money. If federal government doesn't pay CBN back this year, there will be an interest charge of 1.8 trillion naira. That's what President Buhari says. So President has come to National Assembly. Hello, thank you for calling us.
Yeah, hello.
How you doing? What's your name?
Yeah, Baba G calling back.
Baba G, welcome back.
Quickly, if you look at...
Your voice is very low, Baba G. What's happening?
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the national...
Oh, Baba G, your voice is very low. You have to give us a call back, okay? We've got Obina Okereke on the line. Hi, Obina. Welcome. Hello? Hello, Obina. All right, doesn't look like Obina's network is cooperating. 99.3.
Yeah, good evening, Sandra.
How you doing? Welcome.
I'm Marita Sandra.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Mahmoud.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is quite alright. All this news, all this information, all this topic. Our leaders or the people in charge, did they used to listen to this program?
Yes.
Or are they hearing what
Yes.
you people always take them?
Yes.
Everything?
Yes.
Because when you talk of how much they borrow, man, you can look at now. The law, they are the one that, whether they are the one that decide or wrote the law. Now, they don't work only for the masses, not for them. The thing is so confusing. I'm just upset. Let me just listen. Let me know where to.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling us. We appreciate it. We've got Obina calling back. Hi, Obina. Where are you joining us from?
Hello, Sandra. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Where are you joining from?
Yeah. I'm calling from Tel Aviv.
Welcome.
Yeah. So, Sandra, this issue about the money Buhari spent without the National Assembly, it's actually 3 laws that he broke. You mentioned, and the one you didn't mention is that he spent the money without approval from the National Assembly. You understand? Because such amount of money, you can't just spend it. It must be approved by the National Assembly. So he went and spent money that he didn't, that he's only telling them that he has spent without them knowing or what to use it for. So, and I think why this thing is happening is because of this. The National Assembly is dominated by his party members, and they are like OES member. They're trying to please him. They are trying to, they turned Nigeria into something like a one-man business. Like it's always for Buhari. So anything he says is okay, and which is bad. And they have ruined this country. We don't know what has happened to Nigeria until a new government enters. That's when we see the true picture. If another APC, his party people enter again, they can't show us the true picture.
All right. Thank you, Obina, from joining us from Israel. 99.3. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Thanks.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, ma'am?
Alex on the line.
Well, welcome, Alex.
Yeah, please, I want to ask. This money that are borrowing, what are they using the money for? Locally, you borrow. Internationally, you borrow. Borrow to do what?
Well, to build infrastructure.
To do what? The poor man cannot see what they are borrowing the money to do. What are they doing with this money? That's my question, no. Because if you say they are owing the central, the federal government is owing central bank. They say federal government is borrowing money. They say they are doing whatever infrastructure which we cannot see. The only one that we saw is the railway, and the railway has again. They created a railway here to Nigeria. I don't know what is my business with Niger Republic. I'm in Nigeria. Why do they use that money they use to create a railway from whatever to Niger? To create from west here, the east. You understand? And now another thing that is baffling me concerning this something you said before about this money, they say that deadline, no deadline. They are now quick to respond for them not to shift money. To postpone the date of when this money, because they have stolen money. They want to quick spend that money. When the children were at home for about 8 months, they did not come together to come and make laws. Nobody came together to make laws of higher. Okay, you people should quickly answer this lecturers or let the children go back to school. Now, because we want to extend so that be able to know how to wriggle this money out of the country, or to say, I think I extended by 6 months. If Nigeria were wise, they should have said, no, the deadline should be the deadline. Let us be spending the money. The budget that printed the money and the money spent in Nigeria here. Let us be spending this money in Nigeria here. But those politicians that are thieves, that are stealing our money, all the money that are in the hand of body, let it be given in their hand. That is just my own contribution. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you very much for calling. But you see, that's the interesting thing. Shebi, we've heard now that bandits, they're now saying that they should be paid in Sefa. Bandits are not collecting Naira again. They say they should be paid in Sefa. So if bandits have enough sense to do business in Forex, do you think corrupt politicians are not doing the same thing? Bandits in the Northeast, they're asking for ransom in Sefa francs and other Forex. So if that's really the concern, I don't know. Are we solving that problem? 99.3. Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. Good evening. Hi.
Hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mazuda.
Welcome, Mazuda.
People are shocked. If these people offend our law and do otherwise, they must go to jail. All of them that did it must go to jail so that things will work. They have to pay. Sandra, how can you do that? How can you disobey the rule of law? And you are the ones that are making the law. Sandra, is nonsense. It's not good. Thank you.
All right, Mazude. Mazude says Sandra is nonsense. We got messages on WhatsApp. Tony from Marine Beach says, who approved the first illegality of the president and the CBN? If not Senate, why is the president now seeking their approval for the second? The presidency should just go ahead and complete his act of illegality. After all, that's what this administration has been known for: disobeying court orders, embarking on borrowing spree without restraint. Tony from Marine Beach. You know, people talk all the time about the fact that we're building trains to Niger, and in principle, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, so for instance, if for those of you who travel and have traveled to Europe especially, you can travel on a train through a lot of European countries. It happens, right? I think the bigger question is, at the moment, with limited funds, if you had to prioritize routes, is it more important to build a train to Niger than to build a train that connects, say, the east to the west or the east to the north, as the case may be? Which one is more economically important? Which one should be a priority at a time that we're complaining about not having enough money to get things done and having to borrow to do all of those things? Because the money we're using to do that, we borrowed it, sha. So building a train to Niger, not a problem at all. All over the world, people build transport systems that connect each other. So it's not a problem. It's actually a very forward-thinking, very developed thing to do. However, if you have limited funds, it's like when you budget in your family and you know that the money you have is very limited, but there are so many things you need to do. Which one will your money go to first? Will it go to food? Or will it go to, I don't know, supplements? You know, supplements are good, you know, some of them. If your doctor prescribes them, they're good, they're healthy for you, you know. But if you don't need them, would you buy supplements first instead of buying food that you actually need? You understand what I mean? Would you pay your rent first, or will you carry your rent money and give your side chick to pay her own rent? You understand what I mean? But anyways, back to what we're talking about. We've got Dan from Lekki who's saying, where was this money produced? You see why it is badly made. Once you wash it in clothes, it washes off. Compare it with the old one that is not locally made. So I guess the problem is us. You know, we complain all the time. We say all the time, oh, you know, buy Nigeria to grow the Naira. Well, how do we even say that in that time? So maybe we are the problem as the makers and producers of these things. You know, I don't know. We've got Bob Ken in Agbado who says, the new Naira notes were introduced on my birthday and I was hopeful that the ATM will dispense it, but I was disappointed. My new age, I went home with my old money to celebrate with my family. After 20 days, I have not seen nor touched it. Oh, Bob Ken, what a way to say it. Victor Emotion says, help me extend to CBN that just they play. Because honestly, there's no how this new currency is going to work in just this short time. Can you believe that up till now, I still withdrew the old Naira from a bank? Imagine. So how and where do you expect me to get the new notes? And now you're telling me the old one will be of no value by January 31st? CBN needs to make crucial awareness and extension to the deadline. All right, Victor. Tunde Max from Badagry says, Sandra, you mentioned 100 Naira as part of the money to be rejected from the end of the month. Oh, no, sorry, that was an error. It's not 100 Naira is not in there. It's just 200 Naira to 1,000 Naira. Apologies about that. Here is Austin from Lekki who says, please, the new currency should be abolished. Now, Austin, where did you bring this one from? Say abolished. Please let the new currency, let's continue with the old ones until we get it right. I haven't seen or received it. All right. Desmond from Agege says, truth be told, I don't feel comfortable with the new money because I got the money, but up until now, I can't spend the money. Whoever I give the money to buy something from, they are scared to receive it. And now I have up to 5,000 Naira with me that I cannot use. Woo, man. That is so bad. I'm so sorry. 99.3, hello.
Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
You have Emmanuel on the line.
Welcome, Emmanuel.
I think the laws you just read out that the presidency has just broken, should be tendered in reply, to Gabashew.
Okay.
Yes, now, so that they will know that it's not only Obasanjo who broke the law. In fact, they don't worse than Obasanjo. In that later, I don't want to use on friendly language and radio on acceptable language. The thing is, the Senate, I had Ali Ndume saying that some of the requests by the presidency is out of their reach. That is not what the Senate can do. Because some of this money, he said that the Senate approved to spend. But they have spent, and then they are coming to the Senate for approval. So I don't know how, they are going to do it. As per the Naira, the new Naira note.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that is in our system. Taking it away, we need somebody who will come and, re-strategize our brain. I don't know how to even put it. Because we are people who don't do original. What is there in Britain money? Other countries do it. And in Nigeria, if we want to do better, we can do better. So why printing money that is substandard? So I don't even know how to, because God is even tired of us. Thank you and good evening.
Emmanuel, God is not tired of us. So God is just saying to us, look, I've given you people everything you need to be the most powerful nation in the world. It's up to you if you decide to do what you can with it. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
Good to have you on the show. What's your name, sir?
My name is Joe.
Joe, welcome. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Wish you all the best. Well, I've been listening to the program since when it got started, but I just got a few things to say. You have a business, you own a business, and so you have a manager running it for you, giving you reports at the end of the day, maybe monthly, quarterly, yearly, as the case might be. Now, you said that in this institution, we'll be having an STA, modus operandi, and the way we'll do this business. It means that nothing comes in and goes out without consent. It also means that the dispensing of funds, the bringing in of funds, and whatever funds will be used for would not be used for that purpose without your consent. Do you understand? Now, on the long run, we have external auditors coming in to vet you and how far and how well you're doing, if there is growth or not. And these auditors begin to ask questions like, what the hell you do with funds? How is XYZ going out without a consent? I thought we originally did agree that your signature will be the license as to why this fund should be out in the first place. Do you follow me?
Okay, I am.
Now, at the end of the day, you said, I don't know that. I don't know what happened. Maybe you ask the manager. Maybe the manager will ask the supervisor. Maybe the manager will ask the accountant. Does that sound fair to you? This is how Nigeria is being run. Do you understand that? Back in the state, you don't come up with an institution without a proper, well-analyzed structure, because you might land up in jail, Do you understand? Now, every time this man comes up to tell Nigerians that he's dumb, he just don't understand what's going on. Do you understand? You don't give Nigerians answers just because you're the president. You wake up in the morning, you just feel that you can just go on national TV and say what comes into your head, what is suggested to you, because you got some peers that talk to you. There are intelligent people in Nigeria. Nigeria, for some folks, it's like a business run by a certain family. Now, those families are not answerable to anybody. Now, you say that, I listened to you just a while ago when you were trying to analyze what happened in the National Assembly, right? Now, you say that there is 3 laws that have been broken back to back. You don't borrow more than, is it 5%?
5%, yes, of your revenue.
Without the consent of National Assembly.
That's right. I wish we had time to keep listening to you, Joe, but we don't. We have to take a break. But this Ways and Means conversation is a rolling conversation because I really am interested in seeing how the National Assembly solves this particular problem. So not to worry. We're going to come back to it. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. After the news at 6 o'clock, if you are interested in exports, we have a show coming up for you.
Every day, there are transactions in the digital space and amazing profits are made. To join the league of those cashing out daily, you need CardPlug Limited, a reliable digital asset vendor offering you amazing rates for your transactions. CardPlug Limited is a CAC registered company and a household platform for trading all kinds of gift cards such as Google Play, Amazon, Apple iTunes Card, and other digital currencies at Chinese.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired. It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.